Hello, ladies. Our topic today is Let It Be. The scripture we are using is Isaiah 43:18 and 19, and it reads, "Do not remember the past events. Pay no attention to things of old. Look, I am about to do something new. Even now it is coming. Do you not see it?" How many of you have said something like this? I miss her. I miss him. I wish we could go back to how things used to be. Now, how many of you have said this knowing that she, he, the things are no good for you, that they're toxic? That's what we do, especially when we get bored or we're lonely or when we start reminiscing. We think, even though they're toxic, oh, well, that's my family. I have to talk to her. Or I can't find another job or career because I've been here for 15 years. I've been here too long. There's no way that I can find something else. Before we go any further, I want to talk to you about the word toxic. Merriam-Webster defines it as being extremely harsh, malicious, harmful, or poisonous. Now understand this. When I say that a person or situation is toxic, it doesn't mean that they are physically harmful or poisonous, like beating you up, although they could be harmful or poisonous in those ways. But they do have the ability to poison our hearts and our minds, which, as we talked about a couple of weeks ago, can make you feel like you've been physically harmed. Now, it's true that we have to forgive people in situations that have hurt us or disappointed us because God says so. This forgiveness is not easy by any means. We feel some type of way about being hurt. And if you're like me, you may want to lash out when you're hurt. But what we don't have to do is give them the go-ahead to continue to affect our lives in this negative way. We can love them from a distance, even family. We don't have to become a doormat for the person or people or the situation to continue to abuse us. We need to get to a place where we are okay with moving on from these toxic situations. We often get to a place where we feel like we can't be without the person or we can't leave this job. In many instances, we feel like this because it's comfortable. It's probably something that we've been doing or dealing with for a long time. When we have thoughts like these, like I can't move on or I can't let it be, those thoughts come from the enemy. The enemy is trying to speak to us and to get in our heads and deceive us. I want to really emphasize this next point though. Letting go does not mean weakness. What it does is that it allows you to get to the next thing that God has planned for you. And right at this point is where we need to allow Jesus to step in, because we cannot do it on our own, no matter how hard we try. In our scripture, he says, "Do not remember the past events. Pay no attention to things of old." In other words, let that stuff go. Let that situation go. Forget about it. And again, I know it's easier said than done. I know that. When we're reminiscing, we like to remember all the good stuff, but we need to be real with ourselves. What we need to also think about is what pulled me away from it in the first place. What made me start to back away? How did I feel when those toxic things were happening to me? And if we're honest with ourselves, it was not all fun and games. There were some struggles, maybe even some pain involved. As women, we are naturally nurturing, so we want to see the best in everyone and in every situation. We tend to give people more chances than we should. We even do that. We even give those extra chances at our own expense, even when it's negatively affecting us. But Jesus has given us wisdom and discernment. Now listen, I used to think that discernment was some spiritual Christian magic, and I had to be a Christian for a long time to get this discernment. Discernment is simply, and I'm using air quotes because it's not as simple as I'm making it sound right now, but discernment is simply wisdom from reflection and experience. It's that funny feeling you get in your stomach. It's like when you're in a situation and you feel like you have to use the restroom, or you might feel like you have to throw up. It's that thought in your mind that says, I don't know about this. I don't know about this one. Those are the things that we have to pay attention to. We have to pay attention to those thoughts and those feelings. Even though a situation is toxic, there's no doubt that it's going to hurt and or be uncomfortable when we have to let those things go. We know that. But if it's toxic, we have to let it be. We have to walk away. In some instances, we have to run away, but we have to let some of those toxic situations be. A lot of times what we do is we try to force those situations. We try to make them work. And we do that by making statements like these. It's not that bad. He only lies sometimes. She's there for me most of the time. And the infamous one, at least he has a job. When you have to say things like this about a relationship or a job, then it's time to reevaluate. So I want to give you 3 reasons why we have to let certain situations be. We have to let it be. Number 1, if we keep looking back, God can't move us forward. Have you ever tried to walk straight ahead and look behind you at the same time? If not, try it. It's virtually impossible. That's what we look like when we're trying to hold on to something that's toxic from our past while trying to grow and move forward. Number 2, growth requires change. Everyone wants to get better and do more, but not everyone wants to change. I'm not sure how a person can grow and stay the same at the same time, but that's what we try to do. You can't have it both ways. Think about a flower, a seed for a flower. When you plant it, it's just this little brown or black object. But once you begin to water it, it grows into this beautiful flower. If it stayed the same, if it stayed in that seed state, it would never become the beautiful flower that God created it to be. So growth requires change. The third and final thing is that we have to trust God. Sometimes, if we're honest with ourselves, we put more trust in people than we do in God. But Proverbs 3:5 tells us to trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not lean on your own understanding. We have to trust that He is doing what we need. Keyword being need. He's doing what's best for us, even when it hurts and even when we don't understand. He knows exactly what He's doing. Remember, God has a fabulous plan for your life. So, to sum up our talk, know that God has something better for you than that relationship, something better than that job. He has something for us beyond our wildest dreams and beyond our fears, something that we could have never even imagined. But we must let it be.